The crimson sand beneath Jake's boots felt different than earth soil. He had trained for months, but nothing could prepare him for this moment. The roar of 30,000 alien voices filled the massive arena above him. Their blue skin gleamed under. The twin sons of Zerion Prime Maya pressed her scaled hands against the viewing glass. Her heart raced as she watched the human warrior stride toward the center of the combat zone. No outsider had ever been permitted to enter the sacred trials of strength. Her people had guarded this tradition for over 2,000 years. The arena floor stretched nearly 200 meters across. Ancient symbols, carved into the walls, told stories of legendary battles fought by the greatest Zerion warriors. Jake stood alone in the center, surrounded by weapons from a dozen different worlds. His human physique looked small compared to the massive alien champions who usually fought here. Amy sat in the royal viewing box beside the high counselors. She was the youngest member of the Zerion ruling class at only 150 years old. Her violet eyes never left the human as he examined each weapon with careful precision. The other council members whispered among themselves, expressing doubt about allowing this strange creature to participate. The first trial began with the sound of a deep horn. Jake faced 3 mechanical beasts, each one designed to test different aspects of a warrior's skill. The crowd expected him to fall quickly, like so many Zerion youth had before him. The first beast charged forward on 6 legs, its metal claws sparking against the arena floor. Jake rolled to the side and grabbed a plasma spear from the weapon rack. His movements were fluid and calculated, showing years of combat training. The spear found its mark in the beast's power core, causing it to collapse in a shower of blue sparks. Lisa stood among the common spectators in the upper levels. Her silver hair caught the sunlight as she cheered, loudly for the human. Many of her fellow Zerions looked at her with confusion. Why would she support this alien invader who dared to enter their most sacred space? The second beast attacked from above, dropping from the arena ceiling like a giant. Spider Jake used an energy shield to block its initial strike, then countered with a vibro blade that cut through its armor plating. The crowd began to murmur with interest. This human was proving more capable than anyone had expected. Kate worked as an arena medic stationed near the combat zone. She had treated hundreds of injured warriors over the years, but had never seen fighting techniques like the human displayed. He combined speed and intelligence in ways that surprised even the veteran spectators. His movement seemed almost like a dance as he avoided the beast's attacks. The third beast was the largest, standing nearly 4 meters tall and armed with energy cannons. Jake studied it for several seconds before making his move. He used the arena's ancient pillars for cover, darting between them, while the beast's weapons destroyed stone and metal around him. When he found an opening, he launched himself onto the creature's back and drove his blade into its control center. The arena fell silent for a moment before erupting in the loudest cheers Maya had ever heard. Her people respected strength above all else, and this human had just displayed more skill than most Zerion warriors could manage. She found herself clapping, along with the crowd, her earlier doubts forgotten. The second trial tested mental abilities as much as physical ones. Jake faced a maze filled with deadly traps and puzzles that had stumped many Zerion champions. The walls shifted constantly, creating new paths while hidden dangers waited around every corner. Nicole watched from the warriors section where retired champions sat during the trials. She had won the sacred trials herself 40 years ago and knew how difficult the maze could be. The human's approach was different from traditional Zerion methods. He used patience and observation rather than brute force to solve each challenge. Amy leaned forward in her seat as Jake navigated through the mental trial. His problem-solving methods were fascinating to watch. He treated each obstacle as a puzzle to be solved, rather than an enemy to be defeated. This philosophy was foreign to her warrior culture, but clearly effective. The human found the maze's center faster than any challenger in recent memory. There he faced the Guardian of Knowledge, an ancient artificial intelligence that tested worthiness through riddles and logic problems. Many Zerion warriors had failed at this stage, unable to match the Guardian's vast intellect. Jake answered each question with calm confidence, drawing on human history and philosophy that the Guardian had never encountered before. The artificial mind seemed intrigued by these new perspectives and eventually declared the trial complete. The crowd watched in amazement as the maze walls lowered to reveal the human standing victorious. The final trial was pure combat against the arena's greatest challenge, the bonded pair. Two elite Xerian warriors who fought as a perfect team. They had defeated every challenger for the past 5 years and were considered unbeatable. Sarah held her breath as she watched from the medical station. The bonded pair moved like one mind in two bodies. Their coordination was flawless, and they had never shown mercy to previous opponents. The human would face their combined might with no allies and limited weapons. Jake selected only a simple sword and shield from the weapon racks. Many spectators laughed at his choice, thinking he had given up. The bonded pair wielded advanced energy weapons and wore powered armor that enhanced their already formidable abilities. The battle began with explosive violence as both warriors attacked simultaneously. Jake used his shield to deflect their opening strikes while seeking an opening for counterattack. His human flexibility and endurance became advantages as the fight continued. The Xerion warriors were stronger, but Jake could move in ways their physiology couldn't match. Lisa screamed encouragement from the stands as Jake pressed his attack against impossible odds. He had wounded one of the bonded pair and was holding his own against the other. The crowd's mood shifted from amusement to respect as they witnessed the human's determination. The turning point came when Jake used a risky maneuver that no Xerion warrior would attempt. He dropped his shield and grabbed onto one opponent, using the warrior's own momentum to throw him into his partner. Both aliens crashed to the ground, giving Jake the opening he needed to claim victory. The entire arena exploded in cheers as the human stood over his defeated opponents. Maya felt tears streaming down her face as she watched this incredible display of courage and skill. Her people had always believed they were the greatest warriors in the galaxy. But this human had proven that strength came in many forms. Amy rose from her seat in the royal box and began the traditional victory chant. Soon 30,000 voices joined her in honoring the human's achievement. Jake had not only entered their forbidden arena, but had conquered every challenge it contained. He had earned the respect of an entire civilization. The High Council declared Jake the first non-Xerion to receive the title of Arena Champion, an honor that granted him permanent welcome among their people. Maya pushed through the crowds to reach the arena floor where she found the human surrounded by well-wishers and new friends. She approached him, carefully, still awed by what she had witnessed. Jake smiled at her and extended his hand in the human gesture of friendship. Maya took it and felt the strength that had carried him through the trials, but also the gentleness that marked him as someone worth knowing. The Forbidden Arena had seen its greatest challenge overcome by the most unexpected champion, a human warrior who proved that courage and determination could bridge any gap between worlds. Maya knew that this day would be remembered for generations, and she had been privileged to witness history being made. As the twin suns set over Xerion Prime, Jake stood with his new friends, knowing that he had found something more valuable than victory. He had found acceptance and respect among the stars and had shown both species that differences in appearance meant nothing when hearts beat with the same warrior spirit. The arena would never be the same, and neither would the relationship between humans and Xerions. Jake had entered their forbidden domain and emerged not as a conqueror but as a bridge between two proud civilizations. Maya smiled as she realized that sometimes the greatest victories came not from defeating others, but from bringing them together in mutual respect and understanding.